Mm.
I hated sticking my fingers. Then I got the Dexcom G6. I just glance at my phone and there's my glucose.
500 kilometers north of Montreal, near the mining center of Chibougamau, lies the Lac Doré complex. Here, just feet below the surface, is one of the largest layers of vanadium in the world. The Lac Doré was first discovered by the government of Quebec in the 1960s. This layered igneous intrusion is the same type of deposit as the world's largest vanadium deposit, the Bushveld complex in South Africa. Unlike gold, silver, or even nickel, vanadium is not a well-known metal. Even though it's used in many of the objects and buildings we see every day, most people have never heard of it. That may be one of the reasons why the market has yet to recognize the economic significance of the Lac Doré and INT deposits. Vanadium is a crucial element in many metal alloys. Its primary application has been strengthening steel. It's used in buildings and bridges around the world, the steel sections of Chicago's famous Willis Tower, the reinforced steel bars in Hong Kong's Central Plaza, and the countless new buildings being constructed across China today. Ever-increasing design standards mean more demand for high-strength steel. Vanadium is also used in hundreds of other steel applications. These include heavy equipment, industrial tools, automotive parts, medical devices, ship plates, rail lines, turbine engines, airframes, and military vehicles. Demand from the steel sector continues to grow. But what makes vanadium the metal of the future is its applications in green technology. In particular, the arrival of the vanadium redox battery looks set to radically increase global demand for vanadium.
Norma is CEO of Ashland Energy up in Haynesville. And it's a company that provides multi-megawatt energy storage solutions using, and I have no idea what this is, vanadium redox fuel cells. That's one of the coolest things I've ever said out loud.
Fortunately, the company has some expertise in this area. The inventor of the vanadium redox battery, Dr. Maria Skylas-Kazakos, is Professor Emeritus at the University of New South Wales and a key member of the company's advisory committee. Dr. Skylas-Kazakos' involvement is a clear indicator of the significant role that the Lac Doré and INT deposits can play in the development of the VRB and other green technology. The VRB is a game changer in the arenas of renewable energy and grid-level storage. All of us are familiar with the lithium battery found in our mobile phones and computers. Lithium batteries gradually lose their ability to retain a charge and cease to work after a few hundred cycles.
A lot of batteries are limited in how many cycles you can do because they undergo changes in the materials and the solid materials every time you cycle it. It changes its form and it eventually becomes inactive, so you can't keep on recycling it.
In contrast, the electrolyte solution in the VRB is
materials and solid materials every time you cycle it. It changes its form and it eventually becomes inactive. A lot of batteries are limited in how many cycles you can do because they undergo changes in the materials and solid materials every time you cycle it. It changes its form and it eventually becomes inactive, so you can't keep on recycling it.
In contrast, the electrolyte solution in the VRB is inert to charge-discharge cycling. Its cycle life is theoretically limitless, and energy can be stored for an indefinite period of time.
Energy storage is going to be a critical component of the smart grid. And that's where we're very confident that vanadium batteries are going to play an important role.
Until now, the variable nature of wind and solar power has been a major limitation. VRBs, however, are already being used with great success at a few pioneering sites in Japan and the US. Utilities companies can use VRB technology to optimize electricity supply. VRVs can store electricity during non-peak times and can provide this electricity during peak times. VRVs also have the advantage of producing no emissions. So unlike conventional power stations, VRVs can be located within towns and cities.
Alright, so that was just a little clip on vanadium. It's a type of metal element that's probably going to take off knowing their ass to take money to make money off of and to use as a resource. So when that happens, that deals with nature and you because you're connected to nature. So that being said, they got some shit going around called Bivent or some shit. Let's see. They're probably gonna correct me. Oh, bivalent. Alright, so give me a second. Alright, so bivalent deals. Well, where's the option to see other definitions? Alright, never mind. Alright, in biology, bivalent, right? Because dealing with metaphysics is dealing with biochemistry, pathology, and well, let's say biology, chemistry, which is still biochemistry and pathology. Alright, so because when you put biology and chemistry, it's pretty much the study of you to make a drug to go against it. That's what they do with alchemy, to make a drug to go against you. Me saying they, if you feel like I'm talking about you, then you're just guilty. Alright, so let's get it. So the homologous chromosomes associated in pairs. See, I didn't even see do all this. I just had a little moment not too long ago, like shit bothered me, you feel me? Cause I'm sitting here not on this shit, but then I'm sitting here like I'm right. And I was looking for this damn tablet. Forgot I got it. It's in the fucking backseat. Alright, so homologous chromosomes. Definition: two chromosomes in pair, normally inherited from mother and one from father. For example, the two copies of the chromosome 1 in the cell would be referred as a homologous chromosome. Alright, remember, so as that looks like an X, right? That looks like an X, right? So boom, that's the X gene, right? And it deals with the sun. So they've been practicing, they've been doing a lot of research on how the sun reacts to black people and melanin and the cells, right? They've been doing a lot of eugenics, right? So dealing with this shit is eugenics, right? Because it's changing your genetics, it's mutating you, right? From whatever is going on, right? We're gonna get to what's going on, and we're not gonna say no names. We're just gonna say they. If you don't know who they are, then you're right. So look, two chromosomes in a pair, normally one inherited from mother and one from father. For example, the two copies of the chromosome 1 in a cell will be referred as a homologous chromosome. So that deals with the XX. So it's X energy coming from above to connect to you and then below. So it makes it a triple effect. Um, Homologous chromosomes are important in the process of meiosis and mitosis. They allow for the recombination of random segregation of genetic materials from the mother and father into a new cell. When a sperm and egg fuse, their genetic material combines to form one complete diploid set of chromosomes. So, for each homologous pair of chromosomes in your genome, one of the homologs comes from your mom, and the other one's from your dad. Alright, so structure on a homologous chromosomes based on the position of the centromere. They can have metacentric, acrocentric, telocentric, and submetacentric. Let's look up these words. This shit is weird. What the fuck is metacentric? I just see meta and then centric. Alright, metacentric chromosomes have centromere located midway between the ends of the chromosome, separating the two arms of chromosomes. That which represents like your alignment, right? When your chromosome alignment. Because look, if you can see second row going up, second one going to the right, that's like Gemini, right? It just needs the U for up and the U for down, connecting parallels, right? Separating two, but it's just dealing with your cells. All right, so my bad, y'all. There's some new stuff that I'm just seeing. All right, gonna leave that for another subject. I mean, no, this all ties into the X gene, which is the I gene. Homologous chromosomes are matched pairs containing the same genes in identical locations along their length. Diploid organisms inherit one copy of each homologous chromosome from each parent. Altogether, they consider a full set of chromosomes. makes sense on why they studied the woman. Alright. Says humans have a total of 46 chromosomes, but there are only 22 pairs of homologous autosomal chromosomes. The additional 23rd pair is the sex chromosomes X and Y, and that's what they're attacking, the 23rd pair. They're using um the 23rd element in the periodic table, which is vanity. So, yeah, so it's all gonna come together. Because one thing about it, I might take it a little slow because this is new information. I was just using this to show you, so it don't just look like I'm just sitting here capping. I'm not, because I already wrote this shit down. You see that little red book? I had this shit written down last year, before this time of the year last year, and shit was happening in the summer. So I mean, like, I'm just realizing I'm not capping, or that these niggas is capping, and we're gonna find whatever message God's trying to get me to show, right? Because I mean, it was shown to me, but how can I sit here and it be shown to me if I don't even try to show somebody else? So I mean, just get that out the way and do. So I mean, alright, so let's get it. Alright, so it's 22 pairs of homologous autosomal chromosomes, and the 23rd pair is the sex chromosomes XY. For instance, females contain XX, that's the homo pair of sex chromosomes. This means that the female have 23 pairs of homologous chromosomes in total, 22 pairs of non-sex chromosomes, autosomes, one pair of sex chromosomes. Conversely, males contains XY, which means that they have a non-homo pair of sex chromosomes. That's the 23rd pair of chromosomes. In humans, the 22 pair of homoautosomal chromosomes contain the same genes but code for different traits in their allelic forms, as one was inherited from the mother and one was inherited from the father. So humans have two sets of 23 chromosomes in line in each cell that contains a nucleus. One set of 23 chromosomes is from mother, 22 autosomes, one sex chromosome, X only, and one set of 23 chromosomes, X or Y. Ultimately, this means that humans are diploid organisms. So, it needs something to calcify the chromosomes, like sediments. Um, so, alright. So, look, so bivalent, right? You said homologous chromosomes associated in pairs. Pair of homologous chromosomes. So homologous chromosomes is pairs of X's, pretty much. And then the so I guess heterologous, having a different relation, relative, position, or structure, not homologous, refers to the fact that often transferred proteins was initially cloned from or derived from a different cell type or a different species from a different recipient, right? Because boom, attacking both sides, the red and the blue. Alright, so I gotta let my blunt for this, bro. This is kind of slow right now. I like how the clouds are starting to clear up as I'm talking about this. It's been raining, but it's like really just above me. It's clearing up. Robbing and foggy. That's something they can't stop. Alright, so boom. Alright, so heterologous, right? I don't even know if I'm saying that wrong, right? Heterologous. I was learning about pathological blood destruction, right? And since I've been on my little spiritual path since last year, right? Really, my whole life in this realm been a spiritual path. Really, just we're in that cycle to wake up again. Happens every 27 years, really, but it's breaking down now. These clouds, they're trying to use the clouds really to build a magnetic field back up from the particles that reflect back up into that reflect back to space. So boom. All right, let's get it. So heterologous sounds like heterolysis. This deals with pathology, because pathology deals with your cells and how they react to shit, right? So boom, my bad. I told you I was a little shaky, a little fair. I don't be needing weed. It's just for me and being a healthy variant. Weed is actually a cellular reproducer, cellular reproduction herb. That's how you know it comes with the stars, because it works like a star. But at the same time, Kai is a star. If you were on a different planet, it would look like a star. Right? Feel like it would be a rainbow star or some shit. But look. Alright, so heterolysis, right? This deals with all of the shit I was talking about. So I guess we just gonna have to do a little refreshment so I can get back into what I was supposed to do. It just seemed like that's why I had to get on this bitch, cause I had it and then it went back to this, but I know how that works. So let's just talk about it. Cause Xeno bots definitely deals with the embryo. Shout out to Bobby Hemming and that whatever pick before they fuck with Gematria or before they whoever took that picture down that posted that shit. It's exactly what it said. Put whatever that little code said, it popped up Xenobot. First thing on Gematria. And Xenobot deals with the embryos, right? Your cells, your homologous and your XY chromosome, your XX chromosomes and your XY chromosomes. Because low key, Y is a recessive, but what did the woman do? Why did she make man? Protect, made man stronger. So low key, people sleeping on the Y. I don't think the Y is really recessive anymore. I really don't. There's actually something called a Y flare that's really rare and it's stronger. And yeah, it's four alternates and shit, but it's also two parallels to that. So that makes the 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 1. So shit gets weird. That's why I say I can explain. It's two. You just gotta look at it. It's two parallels, three alternates, four states. That's what's within everything. So that could be like your cells too. One cell, right? Because you come back to that number 9, right? But look, heterolysis, right? Well, first of all, lysis. Lysis is this. Suffix meaning decomposition, devolving, or loosening. Breakdown, destruction. Lysis comes from the word lymph and lytic. Because remember that word lytic and lymph. Because lymph deals with your lymph nodes above, dealing with your throat chakra, which is pretty much like the powerful chakra. Because without your throat chakra, you can't even really activate all your other chakras. Like, one chakra is no higher or no lower than the other one just because it has a higher frequency. Because that's how it's going to be on this planet, and that's what y'all need to see. Because you have to work, your chakras have to work together just like how you're supposed to work together with nature and with your people. Carbon, period. With God, period. However, you feel me? In a righteous way. So look, alright, so lysis, dilutions, dissolutions of cells, bacteria. From lysis or Latin lysis, from Greek lysis, a loosening, from lean to unfasten, loosen, whoop-de-whoop. From pyru, lu, to loosen, divide, cut apart. Breaking down, loosening, decomposition. Alright. First, we gotta look up pathological. Say we change this shit, bro. That's why I had to write shit down. Pathological blood. And when niggas in the energy be posting, some shit get real. But you at the same time, you always gotta use your own discernment. And that's all I'm doing right now. Alright, so boom. Red blood cell destruction and autoimmune hemolytic. Remember that word? Hemolytic? Or that suffix I said? Lytic. Those suffixes are really important. Don't say hemolysis. What is medical term for red blood destruction? The destruction of red blood cells is called hemolysis. The rupture or the destruction of red blood cells. So now you got heterolysis. Alright, so heterolysis is the dissolution of cells by lysins or enzymes from a different species. The breakdown of a compound into positively charged ions. Dealing with carbon and hydrogen. As you can see, Br fuck is that, boron? Because they're using Br actually oh shit, I think Br is barium or some shit like, I don't know, something like that, but we gonna figure it out. Alright, so remember this, cause I think that's what's happening. This is something new. I know I seen this AB, right? That's dealing with your tetracovalent bond. And they're coming for that covalent bonds, right? Because it's ancient. Alright, with a tetra. That's what you see, they got shit from fucking zombies, like old ice caps or some shit. Graves, because we had dealing with the limestone and the graphite, which deals with the graphene. Whoop de woo, right? That deals with like the black dot. They're trying to control people's black dots though. Ooh. Alright, so boom. They're trying to figure out the God gene to further manipulate it. And the only way they can manipulate it is to manipulate what it's connected to. So like, because other than that, there's no fucking reason. Alright, so yeah, so heterolysis is blood destruction. And you know where blood destruction first starts, right, is in your spleen. It starts in your spleen. Look, hood scientist in this bit. It starts in your spleen, alright? It starts in your spleen. Your spleen, on some spiritual shit, is connected to your goddamn solar plexus. Your solar plexus is connected to your soul. Your soul is connected to that X that they're trying to fuck with. That X is tied to your anxiety, which is why they're trying to push fear. So that's why you need to get out of anxiety, because that real emotion that you're covering that you're using instead of your chakras is really awareness. All of your organs are awareness. It's just your different organs have higher awarenesses. But that being said, a higher rank don't mean it doesn't need uh, a lower frequency to correspond to make something bigger. They all have to work together. That's what organs do. That's what a piano do. That's how you create music. That's how you create a stronger frequency. All your chakras working together. So look, so like what Brad said, Chris Brown, beautiful people, the music is in you, type shit. All right, so boom. Um, all right, so what I have written down to deal with this AB shit. Where we go? It was an AB picture. Kind of correlates what I got. See, covalent bonds. Boom. One electron on each atom. A, B. That's like the homologous. Cause you gotta think. One strand, other strand. A, B, alpha, beta. Alright? Two different frequencies, right? Alright. So boom. Let's get it. So that homologous shit, right? Deals is like homolysis. Alright, so hom equal and loosening or homolytic fissions, Fission, fissions is a chemical bond dissociation of a molecular bond by a process where each of the fragments, an atom or molecule, retain an atom or molecule or chromosome, retain of the original bonded electrons. During homolytic fissions of a neutral molecule with an even number of electrons, two radicals will be generated. Right? So them two radicals that's going to be generated is what you see. Right? It turns into a different compound. Alright, so look, maybe it turns into a different compound, which makes a different chemical reaction. So look, two free radicals will be generated. That's when two black dots comes to that chromosome. It's happening in you and it's happening in the air. And it's really about to come back around. That's why they're changing up the element to take it, right? So, because they really try to reflect it. And the bad thing about it, when they do that, it reflects and actually breaks the firmament. So it's like, yeah, but at the same time, the clouds generate weather from the plasma when it's up. And then the clouds come from fucking Delta Force. They be up there all day. Just, you could just watch them. Even when the clouds up, they're behind them. Going, there's many of them. And once it opens up and the sun gets through, it's a wrap. But that's why they use vanadium, because it's something in that which is inside the clouds, these new clouds too. And that vanadium helps, the vanadium helps the shit they're gonna do for tetragramation. Because tetra is something to pay attention to. Me trying to figure out this shit, my dad told me to prove it. He went ahead, took the walk. But when that happened, it's weird that shit happened. Like, shit just started clicking, right? So I just had to go for it. But I just been seeing, like, who's been helping me, right? I just want to pay much respect to my spirit team, and my ancestors, which is that everything I am, and I am every reflections of each other. One love, one sound, together. I wish you could see nature right now. It's really clearing up for me. Guess you gonna see it in the video. Alright, so boom. So during homolytic fissions of neutral molecules with an even number of electrons, two free radicals will be generated. That's the two black dots, right? They're gonna. I don't know if you ever like looked up into the sky and like just kept your eyes on focus without blinking, and you see like these rainbow dots moving around. Those are like cells. Those are atoms, right? And they move faster than the state of matter, but really they're always around. And the more your eyes tune in, it starts to look like debris type shit or like the Matrix, right? But it's always around you, right? But them little cells, they're rainbow structures, they're rainbow colors, right? When the two electrons involved that gets generated added on, it becomes a tri. I'm gonna just make a word, a tri-cell. Maybe that's real, but I'm gonna make a tri-cell, right? So it's gonna be two dots connect like this with a big dot, right? It's gonna connect on top and look like Mickey Mouse ears. They're smaller though. Those two black dots are connected. It's just in the air. Um, you'll really see it as it gets a little hot. That's really why they got the clouds up. Alright, so boom. Just stay balanced. I will get back on fast if you haven't. Get back on just staying natural, because the chemical reaction in you is perfect for it. So look, alright, so let me get back. That is two electrons involved, and the original bond are distributed between two fragment species, right? That's what we was just talking about randomly. Alright, so the energy involved in this process is called bond dissociation energy, BDE. Bond cleavage is also possible by a process called heterolysis. Right? Bond dissociation. This is what the xenobots help the cell from, like, say from a different species to be like an animal, right? So that animal, it will be, see, animal cells, all viruses and shit come from animals, right? So, because most, yeah, if they're not a natural animal, a virus most likely comes from. So, that being said about that, when you're messing with a cell from an animal and dealing with light and heat, this, that mutation or that virus within that cell mutates, and then it becomes uncontrollable. So if some scientists were to use an animal cell, right, an embryo from an animal cell, and like tetraoxidant or zeta-beta in the lipoprotein and put a xenobot inside of it that's small enough for lipoprotein transfer, and just start putting all this shit like graphene oxide, which mutates to another substance, into a higher element, um, dealing with other elements that they're putting inside of it. Because thing is, you can put one or two elements in something, but when you're dealing with an environment that's full of natural gases all around you, like carbon, hydrogen, and all that extra stuff, we're getting helium, all types of stuff. It deals with your nitrogen, like it's making all types of chemical reactions. You feel me? It's because it's all dealing with cycles. 369 is a replication of you. You're the 369. These niggas that understand is the reason why they didn't need you in the lab. Because it's eugenics, cytogenetics. It's really science, the study of you, because your life, your everything, and everything is you. So this bond association dealing with your energy, this AB, right? So the A, one gets spewed that way, one gets spewed that way. AB is like left, right side of your brain. Red sun, blue sun. Feel me? So that one dot gets there, that one dot gets there. Your atom or your cell, your chromosome is that atom or that atom, or however you want to say it, is that atom. It's that black atom. These two dots naturally attach to your atoms and give you a positive charge, give that atom a positive ion and negative ion, and then that one does homolysis, right? So you have your free radicals and then your ions being attached, right? That's what it said on here. So look, bond association is defined as enthalpy per mole. That's like hertz, right? Dealing with frequencies from the sun and below. That's coming on to a plane that we're on from below and above. So look, I'm trying to stay focused because it's too much. Look, so bond association energy is defined as enthalpy per mole required to break a given bond of a specific molecular entity by homolysis, symbolized as D. Right? Oh, let's say that again. Bond association energy is defined as enthalpy per mole required to break a given bond of a specific molecular entity by homolysis, symbolized as D. Bond association energy, which is dealing with this A plus B, right? Hold on. Let's see what BR is real quick. No. Damn. Let me just look at my phone. Alright, so I think BR is barium. Oh, no, it's bromine. Mm. Products containing bromine are used in agriculture and sanitation as a fire retardant. Chemicals that help prevent things from catching on fire. Some bromine containing compounds were historically used as sedative drugs that can make people calm or sleepy. It is a ground state. Bromine has 35 electrons equal to the number of protons in order to have a neutral atom. In order to become a bromide ion, the bromine atom must gain one electron. This gives it a charge of -1, but allows it to satisfy the the octet rule, making it a very stable ion. Bromine is a liquid at room temperature, but is classified as a halogen. So bromine is a halogen. It looks goldish, liquidish, like a damn robot that plays basketball. Um, Non-metallic bromine is dark reddish brown liquid at room temperature. Only non-metallic elements that is liquidated at room temperature with a terrible smell. Bromine will cause corrosion, whereas bromide ions will cause cracking and pitting if O2 is present. Bromine will act like chlorine since they fall in the columns of halogens in the periodic table. Bromine will cause corrosions, whereas bromide ions will cause cracking, pitting if O2 is present. Bromine is an essential trace element for the assembly of collagens for scaffolds and tissues development and architecture. Alright, so boom. Let's get back to this. Cause that BR threw me off. That's on here. I don't know if y'all saw that on the right. BR takes both electrons of the Wallet bond, hetero cleavage. Hetero cleavage. What did I say? I just saw that. Hetero cleavage. Bond cleavage. Alright, so hetero cleavage is the AB. So it takes both electrons from AB. Carbocation. Adds to that. Cause that's an X, but then that looks like a Y upside down. Alright, let's do it. Cause that's a little different. Alright, so bond association energy is defined as the enthalpy per mole required to break down a given bond of a specific molecular entity by homolysis, symbolized as D. D is delta. D means, remember, denoting new energy cycle, right? And this is dealing with bond association energy, right? Because the bonds that are your atoms are going on with, it's a natural way, and then there's an interference in the process, which is the definition of variant. As we said earlier, uh, is sub-cell division, right? But any interference can cause a negative effect to your variant, right? Because your cell's supposed to have a positive effect, nothing happens, or a negative effect, and the nothing happens or a negative effect is actually the same shit for the Ninth Templar Seekers when it deals with cannibal sodomites, and when it say flesh-eating cannibals was going through bond association at that time. So, like, that being said, as they're going through bond association, um, energy is defined as D. That means the sun. So as the sun, the reactance is hitting you, which is heat and light. It's heat and light. So when it's defined as heat and light, right, that's a reactant. So the bond association energy is dependent on the strength of the bond, which is determined by the factors relating to the stability of the resulting radical species. Because of relatively high energy required to break bonds in this matter, homolysis occurs primarily under certain circumstances, which deals with ultraviolet radiation. It's been ultraviolet radiation going on, as you see. Let's go to the World News Report. Because when these CMEs hit, it's giving out a lot of radiation, right?
Would you be interested in collecting 5-figure paychecks for a few hours of work, helping me in your spare time from home? I'm on a mission to recover 10.
James Kaufman, World News Report today. Today is November 29th, 2022, 4 p.m. Central here in the U.S. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world, folks. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. In breaking news, NASA and NOAA have issued a geomagnetic storm watch for December 1st and 2nd. A solar storm from a canyon-like hole in the sun could hit Earth as soon as Thursday, December 1st. The hole could beam solar material outward at speeds of up to 1.8 million miles an hour or 2.9 million kilometers per hour. A canyon-like hole in the sun's atmosphere has opened up and may launch a high-speed stream of solar wind into Earth's magnetic field from Thursday, December 1st to Friday, December 2nd, and will possibly cause a geomagnetic storm, according to NASA and NOAA. The coronal hole is a gigantic solar gulf stretching across the sun's center. Coronal holes are areas in the sun's upper atmosphere where our star's electrified gas or plasma is less hot and dense than in other regions, which makes them appear black in contrast. Around these holes, the sun's magnetic field lines, instead of looping back in on themselves, point outwards into space, beaming solar material outwards at up to 1.8 million miles an hour or 2.9 million kilometers per hour, according to experts. This barrage of energetic solar debris, solar wind, mostly consisting of electrons, protons, and alpha particles, is absorbed by Earth's magnetic field, which becomes compressed, triggering a geomagnetic storm. The solar particles zip through the atmosphere near the poles, where Earth's protective magnetosphere is weakest, and agitate oxygen and nitrogen molecules, causing them to release energy in the form of light. They meant radiation, to form colorful auroras such as the northern lights. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have an inbound stream of solar winds inbound for Thursday and Friday. Should last about 24 hours, and they have actually put out a notice of this solar storm inbound.
Today.
God bless you and yours. Share and subscribe. And always remember, anything is possible in bizarre world.
People think they sleepy from.
Why don't you own commercial?
Alright, so y'all go follow him, check him out. But look, like, this shit is crazy because, like, people think they get sleepy from the rain, but the rain only comes from the CMEs. So the CMEs is already hitting right now, but they might be hiding it. It's just a bigger one is just on the way. It's always CMEs hitting, pretty much. That's why they have to put the clouds up. So when you see clouds, it's up. A lot of them is just getting set up for the fall because it's already hitting. It's just as the frequency comes, it's gonna seem like more. It's just gonna get heavy, pretty much, because it's gonna be hitting different sides of the grids, different booms. Feel me? Big booms, little booms. It's just it's targeted at. It's targeted on the sacred numbers between 360, because it's 36 levels with 2 parallels, 4 alternates, 3 alternates and 4 states. Alright, so alright, so as he was saying about the radiation, right, that creates these beautiful auroras that you see in the sky, like just like yesterday, I think I saw it was like 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, but the sky just looked straight rainbow, like, and it was cool because it was still dark, right, but everything was rainbow, like, and then the sun came up around us like the same time, even though the hour back, but it came up around the same time. I really feel like it's 2 hours back. They said it was 1, but I feel like whoever did that finesse and finagle some shit and made it goddamn 2 hours back. But look, cause who the fuck gonna know if you just looking at your phone all the time for time? So like, look, so the circumstances that was due to the heterolysis and the homolysis, right? Dealing with the molecular bonds and the covalent bonds, right? The circumstances is light, ultraviolet radiation, the OO bond, and dibenzoyl peroxide. Never looked this shit up on that.
Hello everybody, it's Dr. Sandra Lee. So those of you who know me as Dr. Pimple Popper, you know how I love talking about ingredients, the science behind what they do and why they work. And one of my favorites for acne is benzoyl peroxide. This is really the gold standard for treating acne. It's tried and true by...
This is a dibenzoyl, so we gotta look this up. Benzoyl peroxide, benzo is in it that deals with forgetting memory, just like Xanax or any benzos, because that's supposed to help with your anxiety, but really remembering helps with your anxiety. Benzoyl peroxide products are usually used to treat mild to moderate acne. When used to treat acne, benzoyl peroxide works by reducing the amount of acne-causing bacteria and by causing the skin to dry and peel. Some brands are used to treat certain skin conditions called rosacea. Benzoyl peroxide can help treat inflammatory acne, lesions, and related scarring. It's most helpful when used together with other treatments such as topical retinoids. Alright, well, anyways, what is it cleaving to? Both can be harsh on the skin, especially for acne patients that have dry or sensitive skin type, like monkeypox. Oh, I I think I just stopped reading or just misread it. But look, the O bond, Omicron, Omega bond, O blood, all types of oxygen, O oxygen, because all the elements deal with the oxygen in a certain way, which throws off the cycle because it creates oxygen, right? So look, light, right? Ultraviolet radiation is like the OO bond in diazobenzoyl peroxide is cleaved homolytically distributions of radical to each benzoyloxy. Benzoyloxy. So dibenzoyl peroxide and benzoyloxy was the definition of for the light circumstances. It says hand in dibenzoyl peroxide and cleave homolytically distribution of radical to each benzoyloxy. Heat is certain intramolecular bonds such as the OO bond of peroxide are weak enough to spontaneously homolytically dissociate with a small amount of heat. High temperatures and the absence of oxygen. Pyrolysis can induce homolytic elimination of carbon compounds. Because when you have pyrolysis, that's when they're eliminated. So pretty much the sarcos, right, that mutated from the beginning, it mutated after the new energy cycle started, and that's when they said the new energies always start after the 6th, after June. So that was like around August. You would hear Delta, right? Delta was the code name for all the shit. For the new energy cycle, B117 was meant new energy cycle, and that's when the bonds or your state of matter start changing. A loss of a cell or gain of a cell is it's a mutation. Like carbon is tetravalent, but carbon-free radicals and carbons occur as a short-lived intermediates. Ions of carbon and carbon carbocations, carbanions, are also short-lived. An important property is catenation as the ability to form long chains and rings, which is our alicylic compounds, which makes the trinity of the three, which are hydrogen and your carbon links. But they're trying. Back in the 5th and 6th period of time, I was listening to Enoch, and they was counting up when you went to the 5th heaven. You realize the reptilians can interfere you in the 5D still. But it was a test to go to the 7th heaven. But they didn't talk about the 6th. I think the 6th is going to be on the physical level.